Hi everyone, good morning.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Very good morning. So in the last session, we have seen DML operations, how we can feed the data into the database that we have come across it. And from today, whatever we are going to talk, that is very, very important for everyone. So for data engineers, it's important. For BI developers also, it's very, very important. So if you want to create a report, what we used to do is we used to bring the data from the data sources to create a reports with Power BI desktop, right? So if your data source is a database, or if the data is coming from the database, then definitely you have to write a SQL code. 99% is you're going to write a SQL code. So only for this kind of situation, recommended to write a SQL code. And without writing SQL also we can do it. But to go for better performance, to apply some data aggregations or data transformations directly on the database, as we are having a database engine, we can also push the code to the database side so that there will be less burden on the Power BI. So we have two engines in order to transform the data. One is Power Query engine and other is database engine. So database engine is very powerful than your Power Query engine. So when we share the work between the two persons evenly or little more or less, then definitely that improves the performance. So because of that reason, SQL is very important for the BI developers. And for data engineers, 100% it is required. If a data source is a SQL, without writing a SQL code, we never do data ingestion, we never do data processing. So definitely we required. Okay, so where it is required, how it is, we'll talk like if you're going for data engineer, then you will be having little more in detail about it as we are going to talk Power BI. So I'm just talking with respect to Power BI only here. DQL means a data querying language. You're querying the language, you're querying from the source or you're extracting the data from the database. So that is what it is a DQL. It is used to read the data from the table or tables. And we can also read the data from the views also. I'll talk about the views also. So when you try to bring the data from the database, this is the complete select statement. This is the complete select statement. Everyone has to write right from beginning here. The end of the statement is order by. So we are going to write everything between the select and order by only. I mean, this is the complete select statement that I wanted to say. So we need to know about each and every line, each and every clause, each and every clause we need to know it. So what is this from? What is where? Group by, having, order by, and so on. So all these things we're going to talk about it. So yesterday, I mean in the last session, we created a database. We created a database called sales underscore DB. So from sales underscore DB, I wanted to read the data from the table. Let me connect it. So basically this use database name. Use database name means you can move from one database to other database. If you are sitting in one place, if you want to move from that place to other place, then we are going to use a database name. And then when you execute it, it will move into that particular database. The very first use case that I'm just taking here, write a SQL statement to read the data from the table for all the columns. For all the columns, I wanted to read the data. So if I wanted to read the data from all the columns, then we are going to use star. The star indicates everything from the table. Everything from the table, I mean every column from the table. So select from. So from which table you're reading. So from is very important. Without from, this is the syntax that you have to follow it. And then table name. So select star from table name. So while practicing, you can use this statement in real time, especially in the data warehouses. Do not apply in that way. So when you write a select statement, you need to be aware of how much data is there in the table. How many number of records are there in the table? You need to be aware of it. Or you have to go and apply a filter. So filter should be there while executing in the production databases. Just keep in mind, very care about it because it will not allow other activities. So to avoid that, definitely make sure why you're going to use select star from table name. So while practicing, yes, you can do it, no problem. We'll be having less volume of data. So it will complete and it comes out of it. Let's execute this. Now you can see here, I have a data. I have a data here. So I'm able to see all the columns from that particular table. Select star from table name. And if I wanted to get a required columns, if I wanted to get a required columns, I don't want to take all the columns from the data source. I don't want to take all the I don't want to take all the columns from the table. I wanted to take only required columns. If you remember in Power Query, we came across similar kind of situation. With the choose columns, we have seen with choose columns, we have seen how we can take only required columns in Power Query. But in SQL, how we are going to do is we are going to list the columns. We are going to list out the columns here. That is what I'm saying here, list of columns. So what columns you wanted to take that you can specify in this place. So because of that reason, we can call it as a choosing a required columns. I'm just taking only specific columns from the table with the comma separator. Then from table name. Let's execute this. Now you can see here. Only data is coming for only required tables, not for, data is coming for only required columns, not for all columns. This is one type of thing. So taking a required columns is always recommended. Your table is having 150 columns, but I need only 10 columns. Then just use this approach. Select list of columns from the table name. And we have seen how we can restrict the number of columns, but how we can restrict the data. What about data? In Power Query, we talked about data filtering. So data filtering is used to restrict the data based on what? Based on condition. The concept remains same. Whatever we talked about data filtering in Power Query, the concept is very much similar. So I'm not going to talk again the concept. So I'm just going to show you how we can apply a data filtering in Power Query in SQL Server, in SQL Server. So in order to apply a filter in Power Query, we have a data filtering options, but here we are going to use where class. Where. So where is used to restrict the data in SQL Server. Write a SQL statement to read the data from employee if the employees are working in the department number 10. I wanted to say if the employees are working in the department number 10 or not. So if they are working in the department number 10, then I wanted to show the data. Otherwise, I don't want to show it. I'll do one thing. Just give me a minute. I'll take out the script so that you can easily understand if I type the code. Now observe. So what is my requirement here? Write a SQL statement to read the data from the employee table. If the employees are working in the department number 10, only department number 10 employees I wanted to bring it. So if that is the case, then how you are going to do it? So in order to do that, we have a where. It is used to restrict the data based on condition. Condition always returns true or false. Condition always returns true or false. If condition returns true, that record will come into the output. Otherwise, that record will be discarded. So in order to write a condition, we came across already the same syntax in the Power Query also, column name, operator, and value. So I wanted to write for this. So I'm just going to take a star instead of writing the list of columns here to avoid the time taking. So I'm just going to give a star. Select, we have to say always when you write a statement, we used to write like this. Select from, what is the name of the table? The table name is employee. From here, I wanted to take all the columns. So this is going to give only all the data from the table. But I'm not looking for all the data. I'm looking for department number equals to 10. Then we have to use where. This is the third line in this particular place. You can see here. This is the basic statement of the select statement. It's very common. Everyone knows about it. Most of the people will ignore from here. So where is used to restrict the data based on condition. I'm trying to specify the condition here. The condition is department number equals to 10. So where column name is department number, operator is equal, and value is 10. So I'm just trying to compare this. You can see here, column name, operator, and value. Now, if I execute this statement, select star from table name, where department number equals to 10. Now, you just observe, you can see only department number equals to 10 data. You have to validate it. What is the output? Is that output is coming as expected or not? You can see here. And then the second use case, what we are having here, you can just try to read it. Write a SQL statement to read the data from the employee table. If the employees are getting more than 2000 salary, more than 2000 salary. So we have a operators, right? If I'm correct, we talked about the operators like equals. Even if I don't talk, most of you are aware of it. Equals, greater than, greater than or equal to, less than, less than or equal to, and not equal to. All these are the arithmetic operators. So if the employees are getting more than 2000, more than means greater than. This operator we have to use. Greater than 2000. So now I'm going to write here, you can see select star from table name is employee. where salary, this time is salary, greater than 2000. If I execute this now, you can see if the employee is getting more than 2000. You can cross verify whenever you do some practice, you just validate it. As we're having less volume of data, you can easily validate it. Check each and every one salary here. You can feel they're getting more than as expected. In the same way, I'm having here, if the employees are getting less than 2000 salary, the same to same that you can take it here. And I'm just going to say in place of greater than, you have to say less than. Just observe. If I execute now, you can see all the salaries of this employees is getting less than 2000. Write a SQL statement to get employee details. If the employees are working in the department number 10 or in the department number 20. So I wanted to take the employees from both of the departments, that is department number 10 and department number 20. So if you remember in Power Query, when there is a two conditions, how we can handle it, we came across it. With logical operators, we can do it. So logical operators comes into the picture when there is a more than one condition. This is condition 1 and this is condition 2. So we talked about it, what logical operators we were having and how we can use them in the Power Query. So wherever you go, the concept is 100% is same. The way of doing is different. In Power Query, it is completely without writing a code. But when it comes to the SQL Server, it is 100% is writing up the code. That is the only difference. So here I'm saying to join the multiple conditions, then we have to use logical OR operator or logical AND operator. So syntax for when there is a more than one condition, you can take a condition 1, condition 2. In between that, you can have a logical OR operator or logical AND operator. So it depends on the business requirement, you can decide which operator we need to use it. Logical OR is saying if the business requirement demands to satisfy either one of the condition, then we can use logical OR operator. If the business requirement demands to satisfy both of the conditions, then we can use logical AND operators. So to know more in detail about this, go with the Power Query. Data filtering concepts. I have given data filtering 1, filtering 2. If you can go through that, then you can understand this concept. I'm just going to write it a query here. Select star from table name where department number equals to 10 and department number equals to 20. So two conditions are there. To join this condition and this condition, we required logical OR operator or logical AND operator. So my business requirement is saying, bring the employees from this table, so from this department, and bring the department details, bring the employee details from this department also. From both of the departments, I have to bring it. So my business requirement is demanding to satisfy both of the conditions. If I wanted to take the data from this department and from this department, I have to satisfy either one of the condition. If this condition is satisfied, then bring that into output. If this condition is satisfied, then bring that into output. So logical OR is suitable for me. If the business requirement demands to satisfy either one of the condition, then we need to use logical OR operator. So if you have a doubt, then just observe here. I'm just going to keep and let's execute this. So one person cannot work in two departments, right? So you're not getting any record. Just change this from N to R. But if we can do some practice or if we have some experience, definitely you can decide is logical R suitable or is logical N suitable. You can feel that. Let's execute now. Now you can see the employees from both department number 10 and department number 20 from both of the departments. So that is what the logical OR operator. Write a SQL statement to get employee details. If the employees are working as a salesman or working in the department number 20. So I wanted to bring the person details. If the person is working as a salesman and if the person is working as a if the person is working in the department number 10, department number 10, that's department number 20. So even if the person is working in the department number 20, also I wanted to bring it. So here also, if this condition is satisfied, bring them. If this condition is satisfied, bring them into the output. So here also we are going to use logical OR operator. And strings will be in SQL, strings will be enclosed in a single quote. While we insert the data into the table, we have seen text will be enclosed in a single quote in the SQL server. I'm just going to write here, select star from table name is employee, where you can see here column job equals to salesman equals to salesman or department number equals to 20. Just execute now. You can see, you can validate it. The first record 7369. What is this job? Clerk. This clerk will come to this place. So clerk equals to salesman. So condition 1 is failed. Condition 1 is failed. And then it will go to the second condition. The second condition is having department number. Department number 20 will go to here. Now department number 20. 20 equals to 20. This condition is succeeded. So what your logical are saying, if any of the condition is succeeded, if any of the condition is satisfied, then that record will come into the output. So because of that reason, this particular record is coming into the output is because one condition is satisfied. Then just try with the second one, second record. 7499. This job will go to here. Salesman will come to here. So salesman equal to salesman. Condition is succeeded. When the first condition is succeeded, the second condition we never check it. The second condition is not checked. Is not going to check because we are using a logical OR operator. So when you use logical OR operator, if the first condition is satisfied, then it will never go to the second condition because it's a waste of time. As we are having satisfied, your business requirement is saying if any of this condition is satisfied, then bring that record into the output. So this record is coming into the output. So this is how this logical OR is going to work. And next is write a SQL statement to get employee details. if the employees are getting less than 2000 in the department 30. So here you have to understand little carefully. If the employees are getting less than 2000, the salary should be less than 2000. Where in the department number 10, department number 20, department number 30. So within the department number 30, I wanted to make sure employees' salary should be less than 2000. That means your business requirement is demanding to satisfy both of the conditions. These two conditions, this should be satisfied and this should be satisfied. If the business requirement demands to satisfy both of the conditions, then we need to use logical AND operator. We need to use logical AND operator. Now just observe how I'm going to write it. Select from employee. Select star from employee, where salary less than 2000. Just execute up to here and observe the result. Less than 2000 salary is fine. But that less than 2000 salary should be in the department number 30. So here it is having all the departments. So we need to add one more condition as per the requirement, that is the department number equals to 30. Let's execute now. Now you can see only department number 30. Write a SQL statement to get employee details. If the employees are getting salary from 2000 to 3000, the range is there here. When you see this requirement, the range, what is the starting range? 2000 is the starting range. Ending range is 3000. So I wanted to get the data from the 2000 to 3000. This part only required data. So I don't need this part and I don't need this part. I need only this part. So when you have a range in the requirement, 100% there is a two conditions. The first condition is this one and second condition is this one. So what is this value? Salary. So we are going to say salary greater than or equal to 2000. And salary is less than or equal to 3000. So in between that, we are going to use logical AND, because this condition should be satisfied and this condition also should be satisfied to get the range of the data, to get the within the range. So range is going to be possible for numbers, range is going to be possible for date also. From so and so date to so and so date, we can get even for the dates. So let me write for this how we are going to do it. Just observe. Select star from table name, where salary greater than or equal to 2000 and salary less than or equal to 3000. Let's execute this. Now you can see the data here. All the salaries between 2000 to 3000 only. Apart from this logical operators, we can also write in a different way with between. Select star from table name where salary between 2000 and 3000. We can also write in the same way. Both results are going to give a same result. You can just observe. This is the first query output and this is the second query output. Okay, so this is about how we can restrict the data based on the text and date. Sorry, based on the text as well as based on the numbers. Any question in this particular area before going to date?
No, sir.
Perfect. So how I'm getting this window is you can use Control R. So when you press Control R, do not release the control and you just press the R, you can get output window and you can hide this output window. And write a SQL statement to bring the data from employee. If the employees are joined in this particular date. If the employees are joined so and so date, I wanted to see that. I wanted to see the employee details who joined in the specific date. Select star from table name, employee, where. So here we have a column called hire date. You can see it, hire date. Hire date equals to dates should be enclosed in a single quote. Dates also should be there in a single quote. Strings also should be there in a single quote. 2023 hyphen 04 hyphen 02. Just execute now. You can see there is a one employee. So here we are having only one record, so it is showing one. So if there is a multiple records, then it is going to show multiple records. Write a SQL statement to bring the data from employee. If the employees are joined in the year 2023. Starting from 2023 till ending of the 2023, I wanted to see the employee details. So when it is going to start, generally Jan 1st, 2023. The persons who joined from Jan 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023. So whoever joined in between Jan 1st till December 31st, 2023, those people will be treated as a 2023 employees or 2023 transactions. You can feel that. So this is also is a range. You're having a starting date and you're having an ending date. We never have a year column directly in the business. Okay, so I'll talk about that. Basically, the transactions are going to be there in a transaction tables or fact tables. So those tables are not going to have a year. Those tables are going to have only date key or date. So based on that, you have to bring it. So you have to go with the range only. Now just observe here. Select star from table name, hire date 2023 01 01. And higher date not equal. It's not a equal, it's a greater than or equal to. Less than or equal to 2023 hyphen 12 hyphen 31. Just observe. So basically, when you have a transaction, here we have a only date. In some places, you will be having a date and time. Time also is important. Time also plays key role. So when you have like that, what you're going to do is, we are going to write in little different way, especially for this. I can say 24 01 01, but I'm going to say less than this. Let's execute it. So you don't feel that difference here in general, but basically, if you have a date and time, then you can feel the difference. Just observe if you have a date and time. The same thing you can also do it with the between. I mean, instead of this, I can say higher date between. So like this also you can write it. Let's execute and see the result. Just try from your side this one. Write a SQL statement to bring the data from employee. If the employees are joined in the month of September 2023. I wanted to see the people who are joined in the month of 2023, September. Only September. So these people are completely related to 2023, right? So when you see this, you can feel, you can validate that particular record. Just observe here. There is a one person with the September and there is another person with the September. Two employees are there. These two records we have to get when you write a SQL code for this. Just try from your side this. And write a SQL statement to bring the employee data. If the employees are not joined in the month of September 2023. So when you take out this two employees, then rest of the employees are joined in other months. So that is what I'm saying here. Write a SQL statement to bring the employee details if the employees are not joined in the month of September 2023. So if the employees are not joined in that particular month, those employee details I wanted to see it. Just try these two things. Try for this. And let me explain this. Write a SQL statement to bring the employee details if the employees are not eligible for commission. So generally, who is going to be eligible for commission is salesman is eligible for commission. So other than salesman will never get the commissions. So if you observe here, if you observe select star from table name, there are 3 employees are working as a salesman and few employees are not working as a salesman. If you take the first one, he is working as a clerk. So he is not eligible for commission. So commission is having null. So null represents anything. Okay, so null represent not anything. Null represents nothing. Okay, so this is going to be suitable for anything. This null can be used for date. This null can be used for text. Null can be used for date also. So null is not going to have any meaning for that. It's like a infinite. It's nothing. Okay, so if employee is not eligible for commission, they're showing null. So I wanted to see the people who are not eligible for commission. So this person is not getting commission. He's not eligible for commission. This person also is not eligible for commission. This person also not eligible. So that means we have to say commission equals to null. But if I say commission equals to null, we cannot compare infinity with anything. In the same way, null also cannot be compared. So because of that reason, the SQL is going to use operator called is null operator. We are going to say is null, is operator, we are going to use it. Now just observe how I'm going to write here. You can see select star from table name. Commission is null. Commission is null. So when I say commission is null, you just execute now. You can see the people who are not eligible for commission. These are all not eligible for commission. They never get the commission here. So is null also is very, very important filter for us. Okay, so I'm stopping here. Just try to do this practice. I'll give some use cases and I'll share one sample database with the dot backup file. Just the way you restored the database in the last session, you just restore it and keep ready to practice it. I'll give a question and you have to write a SQL code for that. It's a different database, different table name. Okay, so you have to work on it. Okay, so SQL material, I'll keep it on today and you can take from the classroom. So all the recording sessions are already available. So you can go through that. Any question before stopping?
No, sir.
Okay, then we'll see you tomorrow.